Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 21 of the Showbound podcast presented by Axel Watches. I'm your host, Michael Raskin, once again joined by Ethan Cardwell, who's finally back in Canada. Cards, what's going on, dude?
Feels good, man. I'm doing well. Feels good to be back in my new setup. Or my old setup. A little bit of professionality out of myself now, and rather than the blank wall with maybe a stain on it or something. But no, it feels good. It's nice to be sleeping in my own bed again. But it's just me and the boys are quarantined in the basement for a while, and when we're out, I can't wait to see my family again.
Yeah, so I want to bring something up actually that I wanted to get your take on. But before we do, I want to mention our guest this episode. I mean, everyone can see from the title already, but we got Cole Perfetti back on. We just finished the interview with him, and I don't want to like insult our other guests and stuff, but I think this was our best one ever. Do you agree?
Yeah, man, it was a pretty nasty interview. I mean, we had so much funny stories, and that's what I was saying. Like, we've been talking every day pretty much, and he's been telling me all these funny stories, and I know we forgot a few on the first one, so I'm like, well, we might as well give Fetz. I'm like, we got so much clip worthy stuff, and the fans will really enjoy to hear about the World Jays. So it ended up working out really well, and I know we got a big slate coming up of guests here that we have a lot lined up coming. So a lot more good things to come here.
Yeah, no, it was so much fun talking to him. Like I was laughing the whole time, and I'm excited to get this interview out there. But man, listen to this. I wanted to get your take or at least just rant about it. So I'm sitting here. It was yesterday. I'm going through my Snap stories, like whatever, just sitting at home in quarantine. You know how it is, bored or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like all of these people, mostly girls, posting pictures of like their Starbucks coffee and them like studying or whatever. Just everyone like Starbucks coffee, Starbucks coffee. I'm sitting here like, why is it that every time someone gets a Starbucks coffee, you have to throw it on your Snap story and brag about it? Like, is that a brag? Is it? Because I don't care. No one else cares. And like, do you see that? Do you see that too?
Yeah, man. I see it all the time. It's the girls will get these orders that are like 13. It's not even girls. Like I know a bunch of guys too. Friggin' Clouder was snapping me this morning, and Clouder goes starting my day off with a Starbucks. I'm like, so yeah, I think everyone does it, and everyone's just kind of trying to flex their Starbucks. But what's the difference? I'd rather have Tim's French vanilla anyway.
No, for real. French vanillas are where it's at. But listen to this. So I texted one of my like girlfriends about it, and I was like, "Are you don't do this or whatever? Like, why do girls do this?" And like you said, it's kind of everyone too. But at least on my Snap story, it was girls that I saw doing it, and she tells me this story. She was um out with her friends or whatever at there's like this Dior cafe or something, and she spent $20 on a coffee that had the Dior logo like in the foam, and then spent like 30 minutes taking pictures with it. And she said the coffee was just like gas station coffee, but it's $20, and there, she's posted an Instagram about it. It's all over the stories. I'm like, I would honestly like, I don't care how rich I get, I don't think I'd ever spend $20 on a coffee.
Not worth it. I mean, people probably just put it on there because they feel like they got to get their money's worth and get
Yeah,
as much
you
work
have to
as
at
they
that point.
can.
No,
Yeah.
if I spend 20 on a coffee, I'm never drinking it. I'm keeping that thing with me wherever I'm going.
Yeah, you'll
Um,
have to frame it.
put it in the background here. I want to say too, we got a bit of stuff. We got some NHL news to talk about, but before we get to that, we're giving away another Axel Watch this episode just for the audio listeners. Not going to be posting this on the social media, but all you got to do is super simple. Go to axelwatch.com, enter your email when it pops up, your name and email, and you'll be entered in the draw. We'll be announcing it next week on the podcast. And if you want to buy an Axel Watch, which I think you all do, make sure you use the code AX_showbound and you'll get 15% off. So definitely check out Axel Watches. And we got a bit of NHL news to talk about, cards, just a bit before we get to the interview. And just announced today the NHL draft lottery is going to be changing. Something that has we talked to Darren Dreger about this actually when we had him on the show. Just the format. So I'll read it off for you guys here. Starting this year, only the top two spots in the draft will be determined by the lottery, down from the previous number of three. Starting in 2022, a team can move up a maximum of 10 spots, making only 11 of the 16 teams who missed the playoffs eligible for the first overall pick. Also, beginning in 2022, a team can win the lottery no more than twice in a 5-year span. So they're really kind of cracking down on tanking, I guess. Not that anyone really tanks, but it's just a
Mhm.
measure to prevent it. And I like the changes. I don't think the 16th team who misses the playoffs should be getting the first overall pick. So this eliminates that. And um, just good changes. Want to update everyone. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I feel like it's just kind of more fair. Sets it up in a better format. I mean, we did talk about it with Dregs, and again, I do pump a few other episodes during this one, but yeah, go listen to that one if you haven't. But no, yeah, I think it's a good rule change. I think it's something that's for the best of all teams and kind of just getting the players to where the teams need them the most.
So yeah, exactly. And we can send it over to the Cole Perfetti interview. This one's incredible. But before we do, hey you, yeah you got Bush. You definitely do if you haven't tried the best products from our sponsor today, Manscaped. After using these life-changing products, you're going to want to join a ball sack beauty contest. I'm looking out for you too because I also have an exclusive 20% off discount. Use code Showbound at manscaped.com. Now I know obviously we've mentioned it before, but Manscaped sent us a bunch of products and I've been able to use them. But Cardzi, obviously being in Sweden, hasn't gotten to use the cologne or anything, the nose hair trimmer they sent us. Have you gotten to use it now?
Yeah, bro, I actually did it today. I have a clean shaven face today too, and did my nostrils and put some cologne on. Even got my Manscaped shirt on too. So I feel really nice and comfy. I feel amazing. I smell great. The guys were telling me so. I mean, I can't complain at all. But I was a little scared with the nostrils trimmer. I was getting it in there. I'm like, oh my god, I might cut my nose.
But it just tickles, eh? Like that's all it is.
Yeah, no, it's not cutting you at all. It's amazing
Yeah.
stuff. But it's a weird, like it's almost like a COVID test kind of.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy you got the cologne and your dad didn't take all of it because you need it, dude. You actually smell horrible all the time. So that's great.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. Yeah, the guys compliment me and they're like, "You don't smell like BO anymore. You smell like a new man." So
Yeah,
it's a
just
good
smell
thing.
like confidence and manliness. So, yeah, Manscaped is dedicated to help you level up your full body grooming game with their Perfect Package 3.0 kit. The Perfect Package 3.0 kit comes with the essential Lawnmower 3.0 waterproof cordless body trimmer and a ton of other liquid formulations to round out your grooming routine. This is the best trimmer to help you trim the hedges. This trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to advanced skin-safe technology pioneered by Manscaped. When you trim the hedges, the tree stands taller. Inside the perfect package, that's so good, you'll find the Manscaped Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant, making sure your balls are smelling majestic before your Tinder date. You'll also find the Crop Reviver Ball Toner, a spray-on testy toner that's designed to make your balls smell irresistible. Be sure to add their refined cologne to your arsenal. With a perfect package or performance package purchase, you get two free gifts: the Shed travel bag and the patented high performance reduced chafing Manscaped boxers, which I know Cards and I love. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code Showbound at manscaped.com. Do yourself a favor and always use the right tools for your bush trimming experience. That once again, that's 20% off and free shipping with the code Showbound at manscaped.com. It's 2021 and you still got bush? Change that with Manscaped. What, dude? I'm loving the Manscaped team for sending us these new reads every week now. These are getting funny.
Bro, they're absolutely unbelievable. I started cracking up there. I just trying to hide my smile. I try to go on my phone or something, so I'm not disrupting you. But no, I
Yeah,
always get a kick out of it rewatching it, and I get like a bunch of people being like, "Man, these Manscaped ads are foul. They're
I
hilarious."
know. I'm getting all this text too. I just died because I hadn't read this one yet. I literally just printed it off and I read it. And when I read that part where it was it, the part where it said when you trim the hedges, the tree stands taller. I cracked up middle of the read there, dude. They're great. But yeah. And I mean now that that's out of the way, let's send it over to Cole Perfetti here.
Just want to welcome Fets for the second time to the pod. Super happy to have you back on, buddy.
Yeah, thanks for having me back on, boys.
Yeah, so for the listeners who don't know, I think everyone does. Cole Perfetti, he was our first guest we had on the pod. This is our first repeating guest as well, so friend of the show. And also, Fets, I don't know if you know, but you were our most watched or listened to episode with over 100,000 listens, man.
There
So
you go, a little showbound bump, I guess.
yeah, so maybe we're hoping to keep that going with you again. But we got a lot to catch up on since the last time we had you on. Um, we you played in the World Juniors. We didn't get to talk about that because you were on before. Now you're in the AHL. You were up with the Jets for a bit. Like there's a lot to talk about, and I'm excited. But I think we'll go right into it. We also have a bunch of fan questions to get to at the end, but I want to go right into the World Juniors, and we got a lot to get into there, but. Can you just kind of walk us through the camp really at the beginning before we even get into any games? Like, how did that go for you? The experience, how pro it was, like what you're doing, killing time in quarantine, all that stuff. Like, let's hear it.
Yeah, it was good. It was hard, like not playing a game for so long and then going into that pace. after just doing summer skates. It was kind of ridiculous, like so fast, and everyone's obviously so talented there, and so good that everyone was just trying to battle, compete for a spot. And when we did the scrimmages, it was like just everyone trying to skate as fast as they can, kind of not make mistakes, just do whatever they can to kind of not really stand out in a bad way. So, there was some choppy games, but it was, yeah, it was the hockey was really good, and it was really hard and exhausting. And then obviously we had to quarantine because a couple kids got COVID in the bubble, and so that was 2 weeks by ourselves in a hotel, and that was like kind of the first time I experienced the quarantine, and I was losing it. Like no windows open in the hotel. I didn't get any fresh air for 2 weeks, and we were doing like Zoom workouts and Zoom bike like spin classes and all this, and I was just like kind of losing my mind in there. A lot of video games. All the guys started playing Call of Duty together, and that's kind of what we were doing to kill a lot of time. Um, luckily we were allowed to like order like groceries and stuff like that, Uber Eats food into the ball into like our hotel, and so that kind of saved us on days where the meals weren't as good, or if we were just hungry. Um, so it was a long 2 weeks, but then thank God we came out of that. And the first day back, we came back, had a two-day or two practices in the first day, and the pace was there again, and everyone was dying, like people could barely breathe, and it was crazy. But thank God we only had a couple of days of that, and then they quickly announced the team 3-4 days out of quarantine, so we didn't have to wait too long, and then we just got right into the practices and right into it. So it was really good. The quarantining kind of sucked, but the training camp and all that was really good, just really tiring.
Yeah, and for the listeners, like how many, I know Fets, like we've been on the phone pretty much every day and stuff just talking, but like can you tell them like how many times do you quarantine now, and like how many days do you think you've actually been in quarantine just locked up by yourself?
Yeah, so I did 20 days with World Juniors. And then I did another 14 here, so 34 days.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
man. That's
So
brutal. And
yeah,
then when you
it was tough. Like, and of those 34 days, like I did it over like a 60-day span. So it was pretty much like over half the time I was in quarantine in 60 days. Now, obviously, the last couple months here have been out and able. I mean, still not really, like, you're not allowed to do much under the AHL rules. Like, can't go to each other's houses, stuff like that, and no dinners. Obviously, Winnipeg's really strict with their COVID rules, so it's kind of still go to the rink, go to the grocery store, come home, and just relax. But yeah, the quarantine did a lot of quarantining, so I'm glad that's kind of over for now. And but yeah.
Yeah, and when you talk about like, I mean, I kind of understood it when you go from just like riding the bike or something, and then you hop back onto the ice. Like, I mean, I went over to when I did Sweden, like I was riding the bike at home and stuff, and you get out there and you're just dying. But actually, we have this funny clip that I was gonna bring up. I don't even think I've ever brought it up on the pod. It was funny about Fett. So like they just came out of quarantine. I think it might have been his first skate. He hops on the ice. Guy has no blades in his skates, and he just wipes out and absolutely he's shit. And he's trying to get up for like 30
Do
seconds.
you have a video of this?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
got
there's a video. That was hilarious. Like that was, yeah, like first day of camp, came out of quarantine. Like it was a small quarantine, like it was like a 2-day one. So it was my first skate, and um I just assumed like my blades are in, and I think the trainer took them out to sharpen them. And when I came to the rink, like I just took my skate guards off, put my skates on, and when you're walking on the rubber mats, it kind of feels the same. Like you can't tell. Like I couldn't tell if there was blades or not. I just assumed there was. So I went out there, took a step, and fell pretty hard. I thought maybe there's tape on my blades, so I tried to get up on my other foot. Nope, didn't want it. And then so I was hopeless. Like I was just sitting there, and guys came over like trying to like drag me off. So that was a good start to the camp, but the trainer felt so bad. He was like, "Oh my God, Fets, I'm so sorry." And I was like, "It's not your fault. Like, it's not a big deal," but kind of embarrassing. And luckily, it didn't go like the French TSN Instagram put it out. So a couple, like they don't have as many followers as the main TSN, but all my buddies, like everyone was there, was kind of giving it to me, and people were texting me and DMing me and saying like, "Oh, this is you, attaboy." But it was pretty embarrassing, but looking back, it was pretty hilarious.
It's funny that it wasn't even a prank. It was just an accident too. Because when I hear that, I immediately think prank. But that's actually funny.
Yeah.
I wanted to know, you were wearing the Bauer Canada skates, right?
Yep. Yep.
So Cards and I talked about this. It might have even been in your episode, but not with you. About adjusting the new skates in a short period of time. Did anyone have an issue with that? Because I know like it takes some people a long time to break in skates. Like how'd that go for you?
Yeah. So we got them right as the team was made. So we had about 2.5 weeks to kind of practice and get used to them. And I'm a guy that does not like new skates. Like I can't stand wearing them, and I have to get them baked a bunch of times and punched out in certain areas. But the first like 3 days wearing them, they were really sore. But then, it kind of just got used to them, and by the time the game started, they were like just felt like my normal skates. So it was pretty good. Like they look unbelievable, but kind of it was annoying. The first practice I had with them, we were doing battle drills, and I got a skate blade scratch the whole one side of the design. Like one of my skates is just mangled from a skate blade. So it's like half of it is like, you can't even tell it's the Canada symbol because it's just scraped out from a blade. But yeah, they were sick skates to wear, and a pretty cool design on them.
Are you still wearing them now? Like I haven't noticed.
No, I when I went home for 2 days after World Jays, I left them at home, and I'm just gonna like put them in like a little casing or something like that. I'm never gonna wear them again.
Maybe now will you break them out next year?
Imagine wheeling around a Kornacki skate with them. I could just imagine you guys giving it to me wearing them. So I had to retire those.
Oh man, yeah. And in the A too, you got guys like Kluner coming up to you and just ripping you about it. I know we got a funny story about that we're gonna bring up later, but about Fetz's best buddy Rich Clune, captain of the Toronto Marlies. But I guess Rask, you want to keep firing here on the World Juniors?
Yeah, I want to get into this a little bit more, and yeah, Kluner's a beast. Like, but so let's talk about more in the World Juniors. Obviously, Kirby Dach goes down first game. Like your captain, leader, everyone in Canada was pretty devastated. I mean, probably one of the best players, if not the best player on the team. What's going on in the dressing room? Like, how are you guys? Like, what are you guys talking about after that game, and how's that going? And we saw the picture of the wrist. Like Cardsy showed me, like it was ugly. So like, what are you guys thinking, and how do you rally around that adversity so early?
Yeah, it was. I mean, yeah, he's a guy who comes back from the NHL. Everyone's got his eyes on him, on our team, and he's the captain, and he goes down right away in a preseason game. He didn't even make it to the tournament. It's pretty tough. Everyone just kind of felt like really bad for him. Obviously we were devastated, like losing one of our top guys. Like he was going to make a huge impact for us throughout the tournament. And the way that it happened, like we all just felt so bad. Like he never played World Juniors, and he asked Chicago to come back to get the opportunity to play, and to go down like that in that circumstance and not even make it to the tournament. You just feel for the guy, and obviously he's still missing. Like he's not back yet, so it's tough to see. But luckily we were so deep. We had 14 forwards on the team, and knowing that we had that much depth and that much skill up and down the lineup, like we knew that whoever was coming in to fill his spot was going to do a good job as well, and be able to just create as much and be as dominant. So, it sucks losing a guy like that. It was bad for the morale on the team. Everyone felt bad, but, knowing that we had that depth, it kind of helped. And we weren't too worried, but, more so just feeling really bad for the guy. And it's just awful to see that.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I think it was Tomasino who scratched for that game, right? And then
yeah, it was Tomasino. He scratched he was a 14 forward the first game, comes out, and he's caught fire, and he was the guy getting scratched, and then he was scoring every game in the round robin. So goes to show you how deep we were, that he was one of the guys getting scratched, and then he goes out and can perform like that. So it says a lot about him, says a lot about our team, and how deep we were.
Yeah, and when you have a 14 forward who just hops in like that and starts dominating games and kind of helping you guys win games. And I know we were talking throughout the whole camp and stuff, and you're a pretty humble guy. Like, you don't like to like jinx anything or get ahead of yourself. So, I mean, I always knew, like, and I think all of Canada really knew you were a lock to make the team and everything, but you never really wanted to admit it or anything. But no, just like what was it like there in the camp? I'm going back to camp. Sorry, we got a lot of stuff on World Jays, but what was it like? Were you kind of clinching the stick a little bit, or were you still feeling loose out there?
I think it was a little feeling a little tense. Like, when you go out there and you see how much skill there really is and how good these other guys are, like, there's all my friends were kind of saying like, you guys were all saying, yeah, like you're gonna make the team, but when you go out on the ice and you look how good these guys are and the depth that Canada has as a country, there's no guarantees. Like there's just so many good players, and I had to go out and perform to the best that I could, and it was nerve wracking. Like I remember being there, like sitting in my hotel room the night before the cuts, like kind of like pretty nervous. Like, man, like there's a lot of good players that are gonna have to go home tomorrow. Like I hope it's not me. But yeah, it was tough. But I remember you guys always saying how I should be good to go, and that was kind of reassuring and helpful. And I appreciated that, but I didn't want to get too ahead of myself, and I just want to take it a day at a time and not jinx anything, like you said.
So we've asked our guys on the podcast who were on your team there how they found out about it. I know they did the thing with the families or whatever, but I think I might have seen your video. I can't remember because they all kind of came out at once, so I don't remember all of them. But how did that go for you? And like, take us through how you found out you made the team.
Yeah, it's actually a funny story. So they did that, but I actually got they came around at like 8:45, 9 o'clock with the going around the players' rooms. I made it with the FaceTime from my family. So that was pretty cool to kind of talk to them. But I woke up and Zooks texted me saying, "Did you get an email?" And I was like, "What?" So I checked my email and it was like, "Congratulations. You are now part of the 2021 World Junior Hockey family." And it was from like the IIHF. So I was like, "What? Like, what does this mean?" So like, I kind of texted him back. He's like, "Yeah, that means you made it." So like, I was like, so I knew I made the team before the FaceTime came around, and sure enough, like 2 minutes later, after I checked my phone for the email, I got a knock on the door, and my family was on FaceTime. So then they kind of broke the news, and I had to throw on a surprise face, like, "Oh my god, like no way," like kind of faking it because I already knew. But yeah, it was nice to wake up to that email and wake up to that text from Zooks, knowing that I made it. We didn't know, but the guys that actually got sent home, they flew out real early. Like they left the hotel like 6 a.m. So the fact that I got to sleep in until 8:30 kind of was obviously a good thing. So but yeah, I found out from the email before they even came around with the FaceTime.
Yeah, and that's not bad at all. But going back to like you have to put a face on. It's like when you know what somebody had already got you for like Christmas or your birthday or something, and they don't know, so they give you the present. Or if it's like a present that you're not like, oh, like this is like not great, but like it's the thought that counts. So you're like, oh, this is the best thing ever. Like,
Yeah,
oh
you got to
my
put on a
god.
show. Yep, you got to act.
Meanwhile, Fetz is like, listen, like I already know.
Yeah, I was like, I remember my parents were like, "Well, congrats!" Like they're like, "How are you?" I'm like, "I'm good. How are you?" They're like, "Well, congratulations, you made it." And I was like, "Oh, that's awesome. Thank you." Like I can't, and I was like, I don't know, I don't even know what to say. Like I already know that I made it, like from the email. So, yeah, I had to act a little bit, put on a show for the Hockey Canada guys, and but yeah, I told my parents afterwards, and they were just laughing. They were like, "Yeah, you seemed a little off there when we told you."
So you're not a good actor.
And then I guess kind of just talk about like the round robin and the tournament itself. Like you guys were a powerhouse, just running over everybody in the round robin, and you especially getting a greasy app maybe or two at the start to get you rolling, and then the points started coming for you. But how was the tournament just like overall once it got going from a team standpoint as an individual as well?
Yeah, I think there was a lot of like anxiousness and excitement to start. Like we were there for so long, like a month and a half before the tournament even started. So like we were like, by the time the first game came against Germany, we were just so like amped up to play and so excited. And they were kind of like a worn down Germany team. A lot of guys were out of the lineup, and they only had like 2.5 lines. And we kind of came out, scored early, and just started rolling. And a lot of guys started getting on the board. And luckily, I caught a greasy one in the second period there, and then kind of got rolling. Was able to get a couple more in that game, and kind of got the confidence going heading into the next games. And I think we played Slovakia next, 1-3-1. That was a big game. They play a hard game that was kind of annoying to get on them on the offense. They just kind of packed it in and shut her down. But and then the Switzerland game, same thing. We just came out, scored early, and kept it rolling, and all the guys started getting their confidence going again. And then heading into that New Year's Eve game against Finland, we knew how big that meant, how big that game, that was, and that was kind of for first place in the division. And we just came out, same thing. Cuzzy scored early and kind of didn't look back from there. So we kind of rolled through the round robin feeling really good, and heading into the quarterfinals against the Czech, we were all really excited, really, everyone had their confidence, feeling good about themselves, rolled over them, went to the semis. Newhook ended up coming back from his injury, and he scored in his first shift, and that got the energy going. That was kind of our thing. Every game we scored really pretty early, and then just never let off the gas pedal and just kept taking it to them. And teams didn't really have a response when we scored early, and that's what was our success. And kind of rolled over Russia in the semis, and then ran into a hot goalie in the U.S. and they ended up scoring early in the first period, and that was the first time we trailed all tournament, so we kind of were like, holy, like we've never been in this spot, and we started hitting posts and crossbars and couldn't score, and then time was winding down, and we were really pressing, and we just couldn't get anything going, couldn't beat the goalie, and they ended up winning there. But up until that game, we were feeling really good, and everyone was playing a strong game, and just sucks the way it ended, but it's the way it goes sometimes in one gamers.
Yeah, and we don't need to get any deeper into the finals. Like, we've been talking about World Juniors a long time. I just have like one last quick question about it, and we can move forward. But obviously, no fans in the rink. There was no NHL hockey at the time either, so it was all eyes on the World Juniors. And without the fans, did you feel the attention and the support you were getting?
Yeah, definitely. Like, in the game, it was weird. Like, by the time it got to the quarters and semis, like, there was so much energy on the bench, like, because those games were just so big. And we knew everyone was watching that. Like, when we scored in the Russia game and in the Czech game, like, the bench was going crazy. It was still so loud in there, even with no fans. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, like, I remember before the first game, they were saying, our media guy was saying there's expected to be 25 million people watching the first game. So I was like, holy crap, 25 million people are expected to, like, so, when you hear that number, that's a lot of people watching you play hockey. So everyone kind of had to build their own energy, and they could, because of how we knew how many people were watching on TV. So it was pretty cool. And you'd go on social media, and you go on text, like, get text messages, Snapchats, and people were just, the support was endless, and that was really, really helpful. And everyone was cheering us on, cheering me on, and I really appreciate that, and all the support from all my friends and family back home and everyone. So it was pretty cool to feel all that, and I can only imagine what the energy and atmosphere would be like if there were fans in that building. Next year, hopefully there is fans, and World Juniors gets back to normal, but that building's pretty awesome. So I couldn't imagine it rocking with 20,000 people. It'd be crazy.
And I remember during the tournament, it was so funny because when Fett scored, would you score in the semis against Russia when you went on the power? Just an absolute rip. And TSN, I think, tweeted, they tweeted, knees not weak, arms not heavy. It's Cole Perfetti. And so like the rap lyrics from what is it? That's Eminem, yeah.
Yeah, Eminem.
Yeah. Lose yourself. Come on.
Yourself, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, just clarifying. But yeah, no, it was so funny, man. So then every time, and then sure enough, like, Fett sends me a video in the locker room the other day, and the song's playing in the background. I'm like, come on, man, get over yourself a little bit. Like, just playing his own theme song all the time wherever he goes.
Yeah, that wasn't too long ago. That was like last week.
Yeah, so you introduced the whole the Moose team to your theme song, but I guess that kind of brings us out of World Juniors, and we can kind of send it over to, I guess, starting in Winnipeg. So you got to go home for a few days after World Juniors, and then straight to the PEG. So what was that first taste like? You started out on the taxi squad before going to the Moose. So what was it like, your first taste of NHL practice and just being around some studs like that?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Like seeing those guys like Shifley, Wheeler, Connor, Ellers, all these guys, top players in the league, seeing them like up close and like how good they actually are, it's crazy. Like the way that these guys shoot the puck, they pass, they stick. Like it's just watching on TV doesn't do it justice. Like to actually see their skill is like it's crazy. So I was a little overwhelmed. I remember the first drill out there. They don't even explain the drills because it was like the day before game, so they like their pregame skate kind of, and they have it down to a routine. They don't even so like I was like third in line, and I was like I didn't see the drill, so I was like, what's going on here? And they were just like, pass this guy. So I just quickly sent a pass, and he was curling this way, and I thought he was curling that way, so I passed it that way, like 20 feet behind him. He just looked at me and was like, shook his head and kept going. I was like, yeah, well, now I can relax. Like, can't get much worse than that. That was the worst pass ever made. So, can't get any worse than that. And I kind of calmed down, and I was a little nervous for sure going into it. I didn't want to mess up, and I just wanted to, not stick out in a bad way. Just kind of go out there and just do the drills properly, work hard, and kind of see what it's like. And obviously, I messed up pretty early, and the guys were giving it to me. I remember Wheeler came up to me and was razzing me about that, but it was pretty funny. And then after that, it was kind of settled in, and it was awesome. Yeah, I got to skate with them for like a week and work out with them and go through the game day routine and all that stuff. And then once Moose training camp was like halfway through, they sent me down and started going with the Moose.
Now, Mark Scheifele, a guy who I guess kind of the term hockey nerd has sort of like come from him. And from what I understand, you're a bit of a hockey nerd yourself, right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
is Scheifele a guy you really look up to on that team?
Yeah, I think he's one of those guys. Like he just does everything right. Like he's like you never hear anything bad about the guy. Like he's always in the right spot. He's always doing the right thing on and off the ice. Like taking care of his body, never, doing dumb stuff away from the rink. Like he's always just like a true professional. So he's kind of a guy that you can look up to, role model your game after, and yeah, he's like, and then you see what he does on the ice. Like he's crazy good, and he's having a hell of a year this year, and no surprise. But yeah, like going on the ice with him and just watching what he does. Like he never makes a mistake. He just always bang on making passes, and when he gets his opportunities, he puts it in the net. So he's definitely a guy that I would look up to on that team and kind of want to pattern my game after, and how he carries himself on and off the ice. But yeah, he's the definition of a like true professional, and you could see I was only there for a week and I saw that firsthand, and could really understand why people say that for sure.
And that might have been your first kind of like starstruck moment, like getting absolutely big dogged by Shife. Can you kind of just tell us about that when you guys were on the ice and he just said, "Get out of here"?
Yeah, this is funny actually. Yeah, I remember. Okay, so we were with the taxi squad. Like, so I skated with the Jets every day with the main team, and then normally the taxi squad will come on after for like a 25-30 minute skate. Just the six of us and the goalie. So we were doing that. So we come on for the taxi squad skate, and we start doing it in the one end. And Shifley's over at the boards drinking water, and he sees that we're starting our drill. He comes over and he talks to the coach that's running our taxi squad skate, and he goes, yeah, I need this end. So our coach just goes, all right, boys, in the neutral zone. So we just go sit in the neutral zone, and Shifley's down there for like 15 minutes just working on like in tight hand stuff, like by himself. He's got the whole zone to himself just for the one net, and he's in tight, like in the crease, working on backhands, forehands, coming out front, stuff like that. Basically he just went out to him and said, yeah, I need the end. You guys can do the taxi squad skate in a bit. So we just sat there in the neutral zone, waited for one of the ends to wait or to empty out, and then 15 minutes later, we started our taxi squad skate, and I was just like, wow, you've made it. You're a player when, you can just kind of come in and say, I need this whole zone, and that's what you got to do. So that was pretty funny, and I'll never forget that. I was just like, man, once you get there, that's when you know you've made it. So it was pretty cool. But he does that every day. Like he's always working by himself, like to try and just get better, like always by himself by like 20, 30, like he's out there after like our taxi squad skate's done and he's still working on out there by himself, like trying to just do things to get better. Like his work ethic's crazy and him wanting to get better. But yeah, when he did that, I was like, that is unbelievable. I love it. That was hilarious.
I love how you say, like, yeah, he kicked us in the neutral zone. That was pretty cool. Like, I'm dying about it.
Yeah. I was just like, we were like starting the drill, like the first rep had gone, and he just comes skating in the middle of the drill. He's just like, I need the zone. So we just all went and sat there on one knee in the neutral zone, waiting for like one of the zones to clear up, and eventually it did, and then we started our skate.
That's so good. Hey, that's a former Barry Colt cards. I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm chasing down his records here. We need a season for me to be able to do that. But no, that was pretty funny, and I remember Fetz telling me about that, and that's just kind of like a starstruck moment that I guess you'll never forget. And yeah, you know you've made it when you're a big dog and you can just kick 7 schmees to the middle of the ice. just watch me do my skill skate. But I guess kind of leads us into the Moosers. So yeah, you're there now in Manitoba, Winnipeg, same spot, and just been good start, like pretty good start to your pro career. I mean, you scored not too long into your first game. So what was kind of your first game like, and then just your first taste of the AHL and the jungle they call it, and everybody wants to eat everybody in there.
Well, yeah, I'll start with the first taste. Like, so when I got sent down, there was only a couple guys. Like when I got sent down from the Jets, there's only a couple guys because a lot of guys had to quarantine. We had a lot of Americans, and they had to do their 2 weeks, and guys were hurt. There was like COVID, like people had it or were in like close contact, so they had to quarantine, stuff like that. So there was only like 4 or 5 of us for the first couple of days, and like we were doing battle drills, and I was going up against this guy named Brent Peterson, and I was like, he was just working me. I'm like, oh my God, what is going on? Like I was getting worked in the corner, and I was like dying. Like he was like, he's just a freak, this guy, like, so strong, so big, and he was just like manhandling me in the corner. And I was like, wow, this is going to be tough if this is what it's like every guy's like. And then we go to the next drill, and it's like a breakout pass. And one of our defensemen, Johnny Kovacevic, he's big man too, strong, went to college, and he's a good player. And we're doing stretch passes, and he rips a slap, like a pass at me, like just a regular, like normal pass, so hard my stick breaks into 2 pieces, like right down the middle. Like it just broke my stick in half. And I was like, oh my God, like these guys, like everyone's so strong, like just like breaking my sticks on passes, like a brand new stick, and it broke 5 minutes into the skate because like a pass came so hard. But so it's kind of like, well, like kind of getting introduced to how strong these guys are, how fast it is. And then going into my first game, like, yeah, like I kind of had an idea of what to expect, but not really. I ended up getting a lucky bounce, scoring that one early, and kind of getting them, not monkey off the back, but kind of getting the weight off the back, just, getting that stress out of the way, not having to worry about the first one. And then, yeah, it was like Toronto. We played Toronto for the first 4 games. They're a skilled team, some big guys on that team. And I remember like the first like 3 games, I was horrendous in the face-off dot because these guys were just lifting my stick and sucking them back. Like I was like, I don't know what to do. Luckily, I've been a lot like just practicing and going up the last, 16 games, like just practicing. Like you get a lot better. But for the first like 3-4 games, I was like, I couldn't win a draw. Like it was impossible. And that was kind of a wake-up call to like say like how strong these guys are. And just the puck battles, everything in the corner, and the back pressure. Everyone's just so fast, and it's a man's game, professional hockey, and there's not much time and space out there, so it's kind of hard to do stuff. But it's been good so far, and it's been hard, but it's been really good for my development and for my strength, and for what to expect at the next level.
And then, so I know we mentioned it before, and we're going to bring her back. But just another kind of funny story, and just like a little bit of a almost shit your pants moment on the ice for Fetz here. in the AHL, as we mentioned. It's a tough league, and these guys are men. Fed said they're strong. They're intimidating guys, and everyone's fighting to make the show. So a guy who's been there for a while and a well-known veteran around the league, and Rich Clune. So what can you kind of just walk us through that story?
Yeah. So before, like, I'll take you back. Like every game before that, like, so that was like our 10th game of the year or whatever. And every game before that, I've been asked to fight, saying that like guys are gonna like kill me, like keep my head up, like just like they're I'm the young guy, like the young small younger guy, like people are gonna try and like get their licks in on me and kind of intimidate me, get me off my game, and make sure that I'm not able to do anything, and also kind of show that they have some toughness too, and they want to do that against the smaller guys. So I was getting that kind of like verbal harassment a little bit from all these guys every game, and then going to Toronto, like 10th game in, and end of the second period, I strip Clune in the corner, and there's like 6 seconds left, and I'm at the top of my like at top of my face-off dot in my zone, and I shoot it down the ice. It hits the goalie with like 2 seconds, maybe 1 second left on like along the ice, and Cluner starts yelling at me. He's freaking out. He's telling me like, "You're done. Like it's over. Like you're done." He's yelling at me, and so I skate to the room, not thinking anything of it. Come back to the third period, and a guy on our team, I'm on the ice with him. We go offside, and he takes a healthy 3-4 strides in and rips one after the whistle higher on the goalie, and Cluner gets in there and starts jumping on him, and everyone's like a big scrum ensues, and everyone's going nuts. Cluner's yelling at the ref, like screaming at him, "You better call a penalty!" And then he looks at me, he like finds me, catches like makes eye contact with me, and he's like, "And you're done." He's like, "I'm gonna kill you. I don't care if you're a rookie, you're done." And he just starts yelling at me, and I'm just like skating away fast to the bench. I'm like, this guy drops his gloves. Like my career's like, I'm done. Like this guy's gonna kill me. So I'm skating away, and then I talked to a guy on their team, Anderson, and at the bench, and he's just like, yeah, he's just trying to intimidate you, but I don't probably don't do anything to piss him off. Just kind of stay away. Just don't go near him, and he's not going to actually do anything. He's just trying to scare you, but that's Cluner for you. So I was like, wow, I was scared. Like I was actually like not scared, but like I was like, if this guy drops the gloves, like my face is getting pounded in. So I just skated away and didn't really talk to him. Didn't make eye contact with him for the rest of the night. But that was a pretty funny story.
Oh, that's incredible. And for the listeners, like Rich Clune is a scary looking guy too. Like not only is he mouthing off, but he's a very intimidating and he's massive, like completely jacked. Just a tough guy. So that's an incredible story.
Fetz has got 2 missions now for the AHL, obviously with the goal in mind of making the NHL here soon. But anytime he goes into Toronto, it's just a pure survival mode on the ice out there.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask, and I told Cards about it this morning, but you're playing with our boy from Barrie, Arthur's Seelovs, who we had on the Colts last year. And this guy, man, like I have a bunch of stories on him. Weird dude. Like good-hearted guy, doesn't speak a lot of English and all that, but just weird. Like, I mean, he's a goalie and all that, but what do you think of him? Like, have you talked to him at all?
Yeah, I talked to him a little bit. He's obviously he doesn't speak like great English, but he's a really nice guy. We have another guy, Harold Eagle, who's from Latvia. So they and then our other goalie's Russian, and he speaks like I don't know tons of languages. Like he speaks like he's talking to everyone. So he kind of talks to the guys that can speak his language a little more, which is understandable. But yeah, like he's a really nice guy. Really good goal. Like he's been really good with us so far. He only played one game, but in practice, he's been really good. And he's a nice guy, works hard, and he's pretty funny in sewer. He's got like the weirdest technique. He just throws his body around. Like he's got like it's the weirdest thing, but he actually like he's not bad at it. Like he kind of makes it far in some games, but yeah, he's typical goalie, but he's a really good guy, and talk to him a little bit. It's just sometimes hard because the language barriers there.
Yeah, I used to drive him to the rink in Barrie all the time. So we always had those car ride conversations. But is his wife sticking around the rink a lot over there?
I don't think she's here, honestly. Like he's in the hotel, and like we're not really allowed to hang out with each other. Most most guys like wives and girlfriends are here, but I don't think his wife is here. I think I think he's just in the hotel by himself, like same as me. But yeah, like he wears his wedding ring on the ice, and I think it's hilarious. Like under his blocker, whatever it is, glove, like he's always got it on. So it's pretty funny. Like he's only like a year older, 2 years older. What is he? 01? Is he 01?
One,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, a
he's
year
only like
older and he's
20,
married. It's
man.
pretty funny.
I remember when his wife flew into Toronto last year. I don't know why I'm telling sea love stories on the Fets podcast right now, but just one quick one. So I went to go pick her up from the airport, and I was driving with Silly, and he's in the front seat with me, like whatever. It was like an hour drive, so we're just like having good conversations, and it was good. He picks up his wife, whatever. They go in the back seat. I'm fine, whatever. It's cool. We're driving back like hour and a half. There was a ton of traffic. They're making out in the back seat the whole time. Like I'm sitting there so uncomfortable. He's like, she didn't even like she said hi or whatever, and then they were just going at it for so long in the back, and I was like shaking in the front. Like I didn't want to look in my rear view mirror. It was just getting like they were getting handsy back there. But I guess it'd been a long time since they'd seen each other. So,
Yeah, they were getting fired up to see each other.
Fair enough, man. That might be Fats when he gets home to his girlfriend here soon. But I guess does we got anything more on the Moose, or we want to get into these fan questions? Because I know you said we have a overwhelming amount.
yeah, we got a lot. I got one quick question of my own about it. Just obviously you're new to pro hockey and all that. You've been playing in the OHL for a while, so you're used to that. But like the flights, the meals, like all that stuff, is that still cool to you at this point, or are you kind of used to it now? Like, is it just this is so sick? Are you still feeling that?
Yeah, like we're lucky. We get treated very well with the Moose. Like same thing as the Jets always. Like so like when we had our road trip with we went to Laval, Ottawa, and Toronto. Like we were flying private, like with the same jet, the same private jet that the Jets use. So it was like unbelievable, like massive chairs, like gourmet meals on the flight, like just walk right on the tarmac and get on the plane. And we were in the air within 10 minutes of being at the airport. So it was like kind of like a world, like I was like, I've never had that before. So that was pretty cool. Like that was exciting. And yeah, so you can get used to that lifestyle. Like there's just the way they travel. And um, like we get treated so well here that, pretty grateful for that. And I don't know what it's like in the rest of the league. Obviously, I've only played here. But from what guys say and what it sounds like, we're pretty fortunate. We're pretty lucky the way we get treated and how the Jets and the Moose treat us. So, yeah, I was kind of like, I was in awe when the first time when we flew on the private jet and I was just like, this is unbelievable. So that was pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's pretty luxurious. And for the listeners who don't know, we've heard from a source, Ivan Prosvetov, who was on an earlier episode, and you should definitely go check that one out, that the East Coast isn't as luxurious. I'm not going to tell you, give it away. So you got to go listen to that episode if you haven't, and then you'll find out why. But that was a little funny story that he tells about the East Coast Hockey League. But
Actually,
yeah, no,
I wanted to ask Cards. So Fest, do you listen to the podcast?
Yeah, I obviously don't listen to everyone because I'm busy, but I definitely do listen to a bunch of them for sure.
What's your favorite episode that isn't yours?
I mean, there's some funny ones like the Tippett one, just because in Zooks, like I'm so close with those two guys, like that it's pretty funny, especially the Tippy one when you guys tell the Reed story of when we go shopping. Like it's just like when I was there for that story, like I was there in that moment, so it's like it just hits home. Like it's so much, like it's so funny for me, and when I think back to it, I just think it's hilarious. Like he just felt so compelled to buy the Burberry, like something designer, that he got a Burberry tie. And I was just like, we were all telling Riggs, you don't have to buy anything. Like, don't feel like you have to. And he was just like, I got to get something. So we get the Burberry tie. I was just laughing. So that episode was pretty funny. And, but yeah, obviously Zooks, like the guys that I'm really close with, when you kind of know the stories more, like, and you're kind of involved with them, I like those.
Yeah, and I mean, this is another thing that the podcast has kind of done for me. Like, it's been crazy, like all the stories that I'm just kind of recalling through like just conversations and stuff. And I know Clouder texted me after the episode, last week, was it? Yeah, last week. And we were just talking. He's like, yeah, we missed out on some hilarious stories too. So there's always so much stuff to talk about. And that's why it's so great to be able to bring it up and talk about it here. But before we get into the fan questions, actually, this just kind of brought another memory into my head about Fets. And I know we always have some funny stories on Fets, and we already kind of exposed him for falling on the ice. But there's another actual really good clip that never got posted anywhere, and he's really lucky. But I think Showbound might have to break it on him here. I don't know if we talked about it in our first interview or not. I forget. But Fetz is a smart guy too, so he does really well in school. And and Fetz won Academic Player of the Month for the OHL. So big deal. Everyone's there. The crowd's really fired up. Saginaw game, and we're sitting on the bench, and they go, "Okay, Cole Perfetti," and he's won enough awards. He's gone up, accepted them, no problem. So sure enough, this time he skates around, gets over to where he's taking the picture, puts one foot on the mat, and just absolutely wipes out, and the whole crowd just starts going absolutely bananas. Man, you got to see this video. I'm gonna get the video sent to me from Rutsy, and we're breaking it first.
I need to see this. That's so embarrassing.
That was so embarrassing. That was so like Babe still texts me like all the time. We'll play COD like every night, and he'll just randomly send me the video of me doing it. Like it's just so like every like when you just step on the mat, like it's just supposed to like you step on it, it's fine, it's good to go. Like, but when I stepped on it, it just the mat had no grip on the ice and it gave out. So I just fell, almost took out our academic advisor. She almost came down with me, and oh, it was so embarrassing. I remember coming back to the bench and every like in the picture, if you can see like Babes and Cards' face, they're like, oh my God, like, are you kidding me that just happened? But I was so embarrassed that night. But looking back on it again, like it's just hilarious that happens to me, and something I'll never forget. And all the guys always, everyone just keeps giving it to me. Rutsy will send it to me on text sometimes. It's crazy, but yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, I can't wait to see this one. That's too good.
Hey, and Rask, like Fetz is probably the most detailed guy ever. Like he's like he always like he's always ready for games. Sticks are taped, and then so to him not to notice the blades first in the other one, and then for him not to be like timely and slip there, he's just got the bad luck with that stuff. But such a pro that you wouldn't expect it.
Yeah, I'll show you the photo. I'll send you the photo cards. I got it on my phone right here. Your face is like this.
You're you got to send it. We need to put this in a clip.
Dude,
I got one I have to ask here before we send it to the fan questions. And with your signing bonus, I can't remember if we talked about it. I don't know if you even signed last time we had you on, but any big purchases yet? You spoil yourself or treat yourself yet?
No, I'm boring. I did it the boring way, the safe way. I've put every single penny of it away so far. In like I got like a savings account that I can't really touch through my financial advisor. So I put all my signing bonus in there and some of just extra money and AHL money that's going in there. So I kind of did it the boring way, but luckily enough, like I'm pretty fortunate. I have I have a car.
A Rolex, not a big deal.
Yeah, like I'm pretty fortunate. Like I have a lot of stuff. Like I don't need anything. There's nothing I need. So it would kind of just be throwing away money. I think when I come home, I'm gonna take my girlfriend out and get her something nice. I still owe her a Christmas gift because I haven't been home since since Christmas. I only was home for one day and everything was closed down. So I still owe her a good gift. Gonna take her to Yorkdale, maybe buy something myself there. But we'll see.
Yeah, maybe I'm rocking a Showbound sweater. I think you could use one of these too.
I could use one of those.
And maybe I'll send you over one there. But the reason I asked about the signing bonus, I just want to say that our partners at Gavin Hockeywell Specialists believe that your goals matter. After hundreds of early morning practices and countless hours on the ice or in the gym, you truly earned your success and you deserve to enjoy it. For over 20 years, the team at Gavin has assisted professional hockey players with setting goals and, more importantly, providing them with a game plan to achieve them. Whether it's a house, a car, a cottage, or even supporting your family, it is all within reach when you partner with a pro. Check them out at gavingroup.ca. Let's send it over to some fan questions. I got them written down here on my phone. I got a good one actually from our boy Zooks, Ryan Suzuki. He wants to know, who is your favorite player to play with?
Once again, I've been lucky to play with some great players. My rookie year, I played with Tippy and Clowder. Last year I played with Cole Koski and Zooks, and this might not be the answer anyone's looking for, but I can't say who my favorite is. Like, I've been lucky to play with so many good players. Obviously, at Team Canada, play with some great players, and I don't have a favorite line mate. I was sagging on teams when we were there, Card. Like when you were there, like we were pretty dominant. Like no matter who we played with, we were always able to kind of produce and do well. So I don't have a favorite line mate. Zooks definitely is the one. He's the one line mate that gives it to me the most out of anyone I've ever played with, like chirping wise. Like he's pretty hard on me, but he's also, that's just his personality. But yeah, he's. I don't have a favorite. I've been fortunate enough to play with some ridiculous hockey players. So, and I know some really good teams. So I'm happy about that.
For sure. And Jack Thompson, who we had on the podcast, he wants to know if you're looking forward to losing money to him in golf this summer.
Well, the boys know, but I'm taking it a little bit more serious this year. Just got fitted, getting some real clubs and getting a new driver, kind of getting decked out. And I've committed to, I've told myself that I'm going to spend $400 on whatever it is on lessons and really dial it in. Like last year, I just went to the range, went to the course and just expected to play good. And I was terrible. Like I still am not very good, but like I just expected to be like fine. And like you can't be good at golf. You can't be good at anything if you don't, practice and get lessons properly and learn how to do it the right way. Luckily, Jack and Cards are pretty good, and I get some free lessons on the course. But also, I think they hold back a little bit because they don't want me learning too much and start actually winning some money on them. So
yeah,
I think they tell me some stuff to get some hosel shanks in there, stuff like that. But
no, anything JT's telling you is just definitely to razz your game. And
he's not telling me anything that's helpful.
No, exactly.
But I'm going to spend some money on lessons and get fitted for get the right stiffness in my shafts, everything, all the stuff that actually is right for me. And hopefully that makes a little bit of a difference. And then, obviously over time, I've only played golf for 1 year. You guys, you knuckleheads have been playing golf since you were 4 or whatever it is. So you got a long ways ahead of me. But we'll see. Hopefully can gain a couple strokes this year.
Yeah, I think Fetz is my sleeper pick to be most improved this year. Maybe, you never know, maybe take a few bucks off JT and smile, and we'll see. I don't know. He's smiling over there.
Definitely, I'm going to try and I've been talking to Yetman a lot. I'm trying to rinse him too this year. Hopefully I can get a good amount of strokes on that guy and just rinse him.
But maybe the tailor-made hat you got on is going to be seeping some golf knowledge into your brain.
Yeah, there we go. I've also been watching a lot of golf lately, learning about Bryson DeChambeau getting that club head speed cards.
Yeah, there you go. You're gonna show up at the course this year. You're gonna be 250 pounds, just absolutely yoked and just pumping the golf ball.
400-yard drives.
Yeah.
Cardsy and I have been talking about doing some golf video content for the podcast this summer. We were thinking me and Cards versus you and Byfield for a little bit of we'll call it the Axel annual summer video. You down for that?
I'd be in for that. We might have to hook up Q with some new clubs that actually fit the guy so he doesn't have to tee it off the tee block to get it extra 6 inches. But once he gets clubs that actually fit him so he's not hunched over, maybe that'll work. But I would love that. That would be awesome. And any time to get out on the course would be great. So it'd be fun.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. So the mainstay question every episode that all the fans are asking, what stick do you use and what specs?
So right now I use in the AHL, it's a CCM league. So 3 guys on per team are allowed to use sticks that aren't CCM. So for the first little bit, we only had 2 other guys. So I was able to use my Warriors. I use the Warrior Alpha DX. And I use a 75 flex. It's they don't really make the curve in Warrior. It's a Bauer curve. It's called the P14 in Bauer, but then they just replicated it into a Warrior stick. 75 flex grip. And then it's adjusted to my height. And then other than that, that's pretty much it. And I had to use CCM for a couple games, but luckily now that Ville Heinola got called up to the Jets, I'm back on the Warriors and I can use those sticks again. So I'm really happy about that. And they're amazing. I love those sticks.
Yeah, well, you
Right.
can't complain about somebody who's paying the bills, right? Warriors paying the bills, so he's not gonna say it's a bad stick. That's for sure.
Well, Warrior sales are about to go way up now for sure after this.
Yeah.
But we got what's your favorite arena to play in at any level so far that you've played?
I'll go with. I'll do my top three. So no specific order. I'm gonna say the Edmonton Oilers rink, the Rogers Center or whatever it's called. I think it's
Rogers
Rogers.
Arena.
Yeah, Rogers Arena.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with that one just because of how like new it is and how nice. And this like where the significance of that tournament and where I played. So that was pretty cool. I'm gonna go probably the Kitchener Auditorium just because big fan base and kind of historic arena. It's pretty old, but it's also got that that mix of new and old, and it's a lot of fun to play there. And then I'm gonna go the Dirty Dow. It's a home arena advantage for sure. Um, I love our dressing room, everything about it. And then when you get out there, it's just something about the Dow with the fans going nuts. It just nothing like it. I love the Dow, and sometimes the boards break or the glass breaks or the ice has holes in it, and
Or the floor breaks and you're dangling from the roof. I mean, we talked about that on episode 1.
yeah, or
But
that
yes,
happens and you almost die at the rink. But I would say the Dow is probably Dow is probably one of my favorites. Like it's definitely a home arena advantage.
Yeah.
and you know what? I'm actually shocked that you didn't say the Bud, because this guy, as a schmelt, had 4 tuck game at the Budweiser Gardens in London there, and that's one of the most spectacular rinks in the league too. So I'm shocked you left that off your list.
I do like that rink. Obviously the fans are nice. It's had a couple good nights there, so it's a pretty. I like that rink. Something about Kitchener. I like the lighting in there and in the atmosphere, the way it feels. I don't know. It's just something different about it. And then, yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with London's rink. It's amazing and
Hmm.
it's pretty historic and pretty cool. So I mean, it's up there too for sure.
All right, we got a couple more. One of them, I don't know, because you probably haven't been out much, but how do you like Winnipeg so far? I know there's a lot of people, they call it winter peg. They call it like, a bad place or good. I don't know. I've only been there one time. I liked it, but how do you find it so far?
Well, Winterpeg is a good example. Like it's a good description. Like for the first two, like it just started getting nice here now. It's like +10, +8 in that range. It's pretty sunny. Like apparently Winnipeg, I didn't know this. Apparently it's like one of the sunniest places in Canada or something. Like it gets the most direct sunlight and like the least amount of clouds or something. Like it's just in the winter, it's just crazy cold. Like this year, like we had a day, it was -50. Like you can't even go outside. Like it just burns your skin. Like, and there was about a 2.5 week span when it was below -35 every day. And, that was tough. But other than that, like it's not that bad. Like the weather's not that bad. And then I haven't been able to experience the town that much due to COVID. Like it's just been so strict. Like from what it looks like, it seems really nice. Downtown's pretty nice. Like it's not like a huge city, but it's got everything you need, and the rinks right there, and the when you walk around the town, like everyone has Jets gear on, like hats, apparel, like everyone like going crazy. Like they just love the Jets here so much that it's that makes it pretty cool. But for the city itself, I haven't been able to. It's just the rules are too strict here right now to kind of experience anything. So it's just been kind of the rink, the hotel, and that's kind of it.
Yeah. Have you been recognized on the street yet? This isn't a fan question. I'm just curious.
Yeah, a couple times. Actually, I got yesterday. I was at the gas station, and the guy was like, "Are you Cole Perfetti?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he came over, and he was filling his tank up, and he came over and got a picture. And then I was at Golf Town later that afternoon. Like I hadn't had it happen, and then twice in one day, when I was at Golf Town later that afternoon, the guy was like, "You Cole Perfetti?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Man, good luck. Good luck with the Moose. Hopefully, you have a great career, and really hoping to see you in a Jets uniform soon." And I was just like, that is so weird. Like never happened all the first 2 months, and then twice in the same day. So
That's so cool, man. That's awesome. And we're basically on the same level. I was telling Cards, someone recognized me at a gas station. Not even kidding.
Oh,
Someone came up to me and said, "I watched the Showbound podcast." So I mean, I'm basically just as big as you are.
there we go.
Um, Let's go with two more. Do you have a hockey idol, someone you really look up to?
There was no one in particular. Like when I was younger, John Tavares, when he was with the Oshawa Generals, and I just really wanted to be like him. He's the reason why I wear number 91. Um, and he was kind of like the superstar of the OHL when I was first started watching. So I really liked him, wanted to be like him. And then as I got a little bit older, it started to become Stamkos and then Crosby. And, you know, now I don't like, as I've gotten older, I don't have an idol anymore. Kind of just appreciate everyone. Um, yeah, like I kind of just have an appreciation for how good everyone is in the league. And but yeah, when I was younger, it was definitely Tavares and then Stamkos, and um, they're kind of the reasons why I wear 91, and big reasons why I like the number and why I love the game so much was those guys. So I guess you could say when I was younger, they were my idols, and then as I got older, it kind of just started to appreciate everyone.
Yeah, but he says he doesn't have an idol now, but he still wears 91, kind of idolizing those guys. But at the World Juniors, he wore 11. And for those of you who don't know, my number is 11 in OHL and when I was in Saginaw. So I think it's safe to say that I'm probably Fetz's idol as of right now.
Yep.
When he's at Hockey
I never
Canada.
wore the number 11 before that tournament. I actually really liked the way it looked, and it's probably top three. It goes 91, 21, and then 11, I think, in my books. And the pretty good number. I liked wearing it. So
there we go. I'm his idol. That's
Yeah. I need to get myself a number 11 Cardwell jersey at some point. I'm just looking through these fan questions right now. We have so many. It's actually absurd how many people, like, I'm excited for this episode because so many people were excited to hear that you're coming on. But last one, I guess, just someone pointed out, apparently you were a lacrosse stud back in the day. Is that true?
Well, stud might be a little bit of a loose term. I mean, like heavy term. Like I don't know about stud. Whitby's obviously a big lacrosse town, and I played when I was really young. Started when I was really young, and I played till I was about 13. I was pretty I was okay. I was pretty good. Like took it pretty serious. Always was on they call it like the one the one team, like that's like the AAA team essentially. So I always played on the one team growing up, and I was always like, I loved lacrosse. It was a lot of fun. And, I don't think if I was a stud or anything, but I definitely liked it and had a passion for it and played a lot of it. And kind of my winters were filled with hockey and my summers were dedicated to lacrosse. So I really enjoyed that. But I mean, at age 14, I kind of decide like if I could go to one of those European World Selects tournaments to Italy or play the lacrosse season and because they overlapped, and I just decided to play hockey and that was kind of it from there. But yeah, big lacrosse guy when I was young.
Yeah.
Not a bad decision
I was
to
gonna say
pursue
that.
hockey, but no, from what I've heard, he was pretty nasty. So I think he's a bit humble.
I played junior C lacrosse for the record, so probably
No
Showbound
way.
for lacrosse.
Come on.
I do want to mention before I'll send it over cards if you have anything, but because we weren't sponsored the first time we have you on, but Axel Watch is the best sponsor in the league, in the game.
I got mine on today too. We're laughing.
We're gonna be sending you an Axel Watch. You'll send us your pick, and you'll be looking really good, rocking that on the golf course or in the Bell MTS Center, and you'll be looking sweet. So we appreciate you coming on, Cards. Anything you want to say?
Yeah, no, I just want to say you can put the Rolex in the case and where is Axel from now on. But no, just all the best here. I know you got a few days off before your next game still, but keep playing your game and good things are gonna happen. Thanks for coming on, bud.
Yeah, thanks, boys. Thanks for having me on, and looking forward to the golf in the summer.
All right, and thanks to Fetz for that. What an incredible interview, and always exciting to get him on. And now our first returning guest, so that was a lot of fun. And now we get to the part of the podcast where normally the Bachelor segment would be, but as we mentioned last week, that was the last episode of the Bachelor, so we got a little bit of March Madness update for the listeners now. What do you got, Cards?
Yeah, man, like it's been an absolute gong show. I'm actually super excited that we got home in time. Just like it's so fortunate to be able to quarantine while March Madness is going on because, I mean, we get so much to watch all day. Just been keeping us busy every day, and it's not great for my bracket or anything. It's been a crazy year, man. I think it's the highest like overall like seeds that have been like the highest seeds to make it to the Sweet 16, like mathematically in the history of the tournament. So there's been so much upsets. my favorite team, Kansas, just got absolutely smoked last night by 34 points, I believe it was, to USC as a 3 seed and a 6, which shouldn't have lost that game. And to just get blown out like that, it's just been disappointing. And then my second favorite team, Texas, gets freaking smacked by a 14 seed, or not smacked, but just like worked all over the court on the defensive side of the ball and stuff. So just frustrating for me overall to watch this March Madness. And but you know what? Who doesn't love an upset? And I'm really rooting for Loyola Chicago the rest of the way. And I don't know if you've seen Sister Jean. She's, I think, 101 years old. I believe it is. And she's like a part of their team there when they made it to the Final Four back a few years ago now. And they're on their way there now, and she's in attendance. So it's been pretty cool to watch that. And but yeah, no, they're my team going forward. So rooting for them. How about you? What are your thoughts on it so far?
All I know, like I'm not even following it that much, but every 40 minutes it feels like I'm getting an update on my phone, like upset alert, like this. It's just all the lower seeded teams seem to be winning, which is I like that. It'd be cool if one of these like over 10 seeds could win it. That'd be so sick. Like, has that ever happened? I'm sure it's happened.
The highest ever is a what did I say yesterday to you guys?
It was like a 7 or an 8.
I think it's an 8. Villanova.
Okay.
Back in the day, they beat Georgetown in the finals, which is a huge upset. I think they were an 8, and then in 2014, UConn won as a 7, and I remember that fondly because they beat Wisco, I'm pretty sure, and Wisco had a great team. A guy named Kamansky, yeah. But no, sick guys, sick team. But yeah, no, hopefully we can see one of these higher seeds win, because why not? Everyone's bracket is done now.
Yeah. How often does like the 1 seed win? I feel like that never happens. Like one of the ones.
It happens every now and again. Like I don't know the stats or anything, but yeah, no, I feel like there's a lot of pressure being 1 seed, and kind of they just kind of overplay it, and then it's one of those teams that are kind of just a sleeper pick, gets hot at the right time, and win these single game elimination tournaments, and you can get hot at the right time and definitely go for a big run.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's exciting. A lot of good sports on TV right now, and I mean, this episode's probably going long now, so we could probably wrap it up. Anything, or do you want to take it away with the usual intro cards or outro?
Yeah, I guess I'll take my outro back in Canada, but no, yeah, a lot more time to focus on the podcast now, being back at home and being able to work on the same time zones as most of the guys we'll be interviewing. So it's going to make it a lot easier. But yeah, no, thanks for everyone's support. I hope you enjoyed Fets round 2 here on the pod, and have a great week.